is Mason. This is my first ASMR video, and I thought I'd start with something simple, just a whisper video for anybody watching. I'm going to be going through some Magic cards, Magic the Gathering. I recently got into Magic the Gathering a few months ago. During the middle of summer, I decided to just install the Magic Duels app on my phone, and I learned the rules that way. And then I decided to buy a pre-made deck with some booster packs when I was at the store one day. And then I bought some bulk packs off of Amazon, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I'm just going to make some card sounds today. I'll be going through and sorting the cards by type, and then I'll go through them and show you as many of them as I can, and maybe do some whispers on what the cards do. So without further ado, let's get going. So I'm just going to sort them by land, creature, enchantment, instant, and sorcery. And if you're not familiar with Magic, then that probably means nothing to you. But if you are familiar with Magic, then you know what I'm talking about. Oh, also artifacts. Forgot about those. I'm sorry for the maybe not great range of view right now. I'm just trying a certain setup. I have a real camera, but I figured it'd be easier just to take my phone and set that up on a small tripod and aim that at my desk. Unfortunately, my desk is clear glass, so I put down my mouse pad, which ended up being the perfect size, and it's black, so that's a good contrast to the cards. Whoops. Did I have any sorceries in there? No. Okay. So as you can see, this is a blue-white Azorius deck. It's mostly the pack that I bought in the store. I bought the Dragons of Tarkir pre-made deck, I guess, that was based off of the Pristine Skywise Dragon. I didn't even really look at it. I'd been using a blue-white deck in the phone game, and was really liking it, and then I just happened to pick up a blue-white deck at the store, so that worked out pretty well. So basically I've just modified it with cards that I have bought since then and gotten in packs. I mean, the original deck was pretty dang good, but there were some things that I wasn't really a fan of, so I fixed that. Alright, we got all those sorted. So I'll move those over here, and then I'll show you guys some of the cards. Whoops. I'm taking this with me. Now, since this is my first ASMR video, just let me know what you guys think. What you like, what you don't like, what I could do better. I'll make sure there's no jarring sounds. I'll edit all those out, hopefully. Let me turn my computer screen off. That might get some better lighting. Alright, so let's do land first. So we've got some islands, and then we've got some plains. I really like the art on Magic cards, and I think all my land is from the Dragons of Tarkir set, and I believe there's 4 different art styles for each one, 4 different pictures. We have an Evolving Wilds. You can tap this land to sacrifice this card, and then search my library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. I really like the art on this card. It really captures the name of the card, Evolving Wilds. We got the forest, the mountains, the lava coming down. It's really cool. I also really like this card because it makes sense. The cool thing about a lot of Magic cards is that the name and what the card is really makes sense with what the card does. Another island. Some more islands. I actually created an Excel spreadsheet where I can put in all my cards and all of their mana costs, and then it'll tell me how much of each type of land it recommends based off of that. Just for fun. And because I'm a nerd. But, you know, whatever. And then my other special land, Azorius Guildgate, enters the battlefield tapped, and it can either be a blue or a white mana, which is perfect for this deck. I should get me some more of those. So there's all my land. Nothing too exciting. Let's do instants now. Got quite a few of those. My favorite part about this deck was that a lot of these cards had the rebound mechanic, which was awesome because instead of just going to your graveyard like most instants would after resolving, it goes into exile, and then at the beginning of your next upkeep, you can cast this card for free. You don't have to pay anything. The only thing is, if you don't play it, or can't play it, then you lose your ability to play it. It's like for Artful Maneuver here, a target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. So if you don't have any creatures out to play that on, then, well, you lose it. I guess you could play it on one of your opponent's creatures, but if you don't have any creatures out, I don't know if you'd want to do that. Either way, it's a cool card. So I have that, because it has rebound. This deck is based off of things building off of each other and getting +1/+1 counters and getting boosts and things like that, so it's pretty cool. Angel's Mercy. Gain 7 life. Never know when you might need some life. We've got a typical blue card here. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's like the theme of blue, isn't it? And then we got 2 Dramatic Rescue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You gain 2 life. Kind of the enhanced version of the card. We have another Artful Maneuver. Ojutai's Breath. Another rebound card. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, which is great because you basically nullify that creature for quite a long time, and you can keep playing it over and over again. Dance of the Skywise. This card is from the Dragons of Tarkir set, but it actually didn't come with the deck that I got. I got this in a booster pack later on. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a blue dragon illusion with base power and toughness 4/4, loses all abilities, and gains flying. That's the other thing about this deck. I try to give as many creatures flying as possible. There's also, it's based on dragons as well, since it's the Dragons of Tarkir set that I got it from. So, if I can turn something else into a dragon, then that's great. And this is a cheap instant that I can play. Righteous Blow, useful to have, especially early game. It just costs 1 plains, and it deals 2 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. And then last, we have more typical blueness. Anticipate. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, those are all my instants. I have quite a lot of them. By contrast, I only have 2 sorceries, but they're pretty good. They hit where it hurts. Great Teacher's Decree. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. And 4 mana seems like a lot for that, but it has rebound, so you can play it at the beginning of each of your turns, which is fantastic. And then this one is also great. It's pretty expensive too. It puts a 2/2 blue Jin Monk creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and it has rebound again. So basically, in this, you will never end up in a situation where you can't play this card at the beginning of your turn, because it just adds a creature token. So essentially, you will always have a creature out at the beginning of every turn, no matter what, which is super useful. Once you get this card out, you can keep playing it. Your opponent will have a hard time getting through to you unless they have a really aggressive deck with cheap creatures. We have 3 enchantments. They're all enchantment auras. First of all, we have classic pacifism. I love this card, but I hate when it's used against me. I think everyone does. Then we have divine favor. Enchant creature. When divine favor enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. I love gaining life. Enchanted creature gets +1/+3. Nice little boost. And then Armored Ascension. This is a great card for a deck with planes in it. The enchanted creature gets a +1/+1 for each planes you control. It has flying. The has flying part doesn't really help me too much because most of my creatures in this deck have flying anyways. This would probably be better for a mono white deck, but I found that it works pretty well in this one too. And I have an artifact that would be better for a mono blue, but whenever a player casts a blue spell, you may gain 1 life. I love how that says you may gain 1 life. I mean, I haven't been in a situation where I would refuse to gain a life. Have you? Let me know in the comments if you've ever turned down gaining a life from a card like this. Now onto the cool stuff, the creatures. So this is the creature that was on the front of the Dragons of Tarkir set. It is a foil card, as you can see by all the rainbow shininess. It's a pristine Skywise. It is a 6/4 dragon, and it's rare, of course. It costs 6 mana. It's a blue-white card. It has flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap Pristine Skywise. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. So now you see why I have so many instants, because this would probably be tapped on my opponent's turn. So if I can play an instant on their turn, this will untap, and then allow me to block with it after attacking with it the turn before. And of course, gaining protection from a certain color is very useful. So this is a good card. I have the dragon, which is important to the theme of my deck, which you'll probably see later. Set that aside. Here we have the Jellin Sphinx. It has flying and vigilance, and it's only 1 attack, or 1 power, but 5 toughness. But whenever it attacks, other attacking creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So, more boosting. This creature is also kind of expensive. It costs 5. Most of the creatures I have in this deck are unfortunately more on the expensive side, but I tried to balance it out with a few cheap ones, like Shriekgeist here. He's only 2 cost, and he has flying. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Some people's decks are completely based upon making your opponent discard cards and put cards into their graveyard. I just built a deck recently that does that. I've played it a few times, but haven't really drawn any of the cards that make people do that, so they haven't been very good tests so far. Here's another rare card, Sage Eye Avengers. He does not have flying, but he's a 4/5, and he has prowess. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, which I have a lot of, this creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn, and whenever he attacks, I may return a target creature to its owner's hand if its power is less than Sage Eye Avenger's power. And, you know, its power is 4, so that wouldn't be very hard. Basically, it gets rid of a blocker. And now I have 2 Student of Ojutai, and that's what this symbol is down here in some of these cards, the Ojutai monk symbol. They are 2/4 creatures for 4. But whenever I cast a non-creature spell, I gain 2 life. One of my favorite moments is that I had both of these out, and I played both of my spells that return a target creature to its owner's hand, and I gain 2 life. So I gained 4 life from those cards, and then I gained 4 life from this one, because I had 2 non-creature spells, and then I gained 4 life from this one, because the effect would happen twice. So I gained 12 life that turn. It was fantastic. So if used right, it can be great. Another card from the Dragons of Tarkir pack, the Elusive Spellfist, another human monk, just like those last cards. Whenever I cast a non-creature spell, Elusive Spellfist gets +1/+0 until end of turn and cannot be blocked. This card's only a 1/3, but wow, that effect has worked great so far. I really underestimated the power of this card, but it always seems to go in my hand early and does a really good job. There we have just a simple 1/1 flying creature, one of those ones with the white border from that era. And I don't know, it's good to have a 1/1 creature, and I like that it has flying, and it still just costs 1. Here's a 2-cost white flying creature, Avon Squire. It's a bird soldier. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It can happen. He's a 1/1 though. Ascended Law Mage. He's a wizard with flying and hexproof. He's a 3/2. He's blue-white that costs 4. Updraft Elemental, another Dragons of Tarkir card. He's a 1/4, so definitely a card that you'd use to defend with. And he has flying, which is even better. Strong Arm Monk. He's a really buff-looking monk. Focus that. He's got some muscles. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. This whole deck is just non-creature spells. Now we have 2 of these cards that were in the original deck. Cunning Breeze Dancer. I love these guys. They are 6-cost blue-white dragon cards. They're both 4/4. They have flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, once again, this card gets +2/+2 until end of turn, so it becomes a 6/6 if you just play 1, which is awesome. And they're flying. Here we have a 2/2 flying fish, Windrider Eel. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Windrider Eel gets +2/+2 till end of turn. So if you keep playing land, he's essentially a 4/4, which is why he costs 4. This is probably one of the cards that I may or may not keep in the deck. I'm always changing my decks, and this card's kind of on the chopping block right now, because it is expensive for a 2/2, and it's not guaranteed it'll be a 4/4 every turn. And, you know, once your turn ends, it goes back to a 2/2, so you can't really use it defensively. So, I'll think about that one. Shield-Eyed Dragon is a Megamorph card, so you can play it face down for 3 mana as a 2/2 creature, and then you can flip it up at any time for its Megamorph cost, which is always its normal cost +1 of whatever color it is. So it's 2 planes and 5 of any color. And basically when you do that, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, which would make it a 4/4. And then if you have any other dragons, you put +1/+1 counters on those too. And there's quite a few dragons in this deck. I want to get some more, but this is all I have of blue or white. It has lifelink, which is cool. It's the only lifelink card in this deck. Here's another rare card from the Magic Origins pack, it looks like. Soulblade Jin. He's a flying creature, of course. That's some really cool art. He's like flying with his swords. It's cool. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. Another one of those. It's kind of expensive though. And last but not least, Beldol Dragon. He's basically the blue version of the Shield-Eyed Dragon. They're basically the same card, but one's blue and one's white. They're both 3/3. They both get +1/+1 when you turn them up for their Megamorph cost. Their Megamorph cost is the same, except this one is islands, this one's plains. you put a +1/+1 counter on other dragons when it's turned up. The only difference, other than the color, is that the blue one has hexproof and the white one has lifelink, which sounds about right. So, that is all my cards on this deck. So I hope you liked this video. Be sure to leave a comment if you did like it, and leave a comment if you didn't like it, and let me know what I can do to make it better. I've been watching ASMR videos for a long time, and I would love to make some of my own. It seems like it's a lot of work, but you know, this was fun. It wasn't as awkward as I thought it would be, whispering to myself. So if you liked it, let me know. Depending on how many likes and subscribers and comments and whatnot that I get, maybe I'll make more. Let me know, and let me know what you want me to do. Maybe I can do some sort of like Q&A thing, so you people who are interested can learn about what I'm into, and then we can tailor the videos to that. I was thinking of doing like tapping and show and tell video with the Elder Scrolls Anthology pack. I know there's someone who has done that before, so I was thinking of doing that because I have that. Also, maybe a typing video. I don't know. That's what I've got for now. Or I can do more Magic videos, show off my other decks, make some more sounds. So, anyways, that's enough rambling for now. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't